We're not all living in the same reality. See, Earth exists in different dimensions. It's the multiverse, multiple dimensions existing simultaneously at the same time.
Don't you think it's so fucking crazy how we all live in like different realities and different dimensions right now? Like, before the awakening, right? Before I started doing a deep dive into myself, before I started waking up to the fucking illusions of this goddamn reality.
Are we living in the same reality we were? Because a lot of people think we ended up in an alternate reality, and people are always trying to pinpoint when that was. Some people say it happened in the 80s, some people say it happened in 2012, some people say 2015, and some people say even as late as 2020, that's when the alternate realities spread across. And maybe we ended up in one of those alternate realities. At least that's what people think, and we're going to talk about that in today's video and also react to a bunch of people having this realization. If you've had a realization like this as well, I want your opinions about this video down below in the comment section. And now, let's get into it.
We're not all living in the same reality. See, Earth exists in different dimensions. It's the multiverse, multiple dimensions existing simultaneously at the same time. And it's all based on our different level of awareness and perception. Give me a minute.
Some people say it's based on your frequencies. Everyone has different frequencies, so it means that they're kind of living on different planes of existence. Now, I know this sounds ridiculous, and it's not necessarily something I believe, but this is just something people say.
See, when we change our perspectives and our awareness, the things that we can conceive, the things that we see change. Based on somebody's awareness and perspective, they can see a different narrative and a different reality altogether.
It's like when people are suffering a lot, sometimes that suffering will be coincided with schizophrenia, and people who are schizophrenic see things that aren't there, technically are not there. And maybe it's because their frequency's been lowered so much that they're seeing entities that are parasitic and they're preying upon them.
Which will 1000% influence their own world, their own realities, the things that they do and the things that they do not do. See, perception is powerful. Awareness changes reality itself, because once you see something, you cannot unsee it. And so we are all existing simultaneously at the same time in completely different realities, and they are polar opposites. Some people are living in heaven. Some people are truly, truly living in the Garden of Eden, evil. And some people are living in hell. That's very interesting, because the Garden of Eden is not exactly what we thought it was it? But that's a conversation for another time.
And people do feel like this reality is hell. That is something we've talked about in length in previous videos.
So, we are all living in different realities, you guys, and based on your awareness, based on your focus on your attention, the reality that you conceive, you cultivate, and you reflect back in your reality is different from another person. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what's happening around you, your reality will always be based on your inner world, the things that you consume, the things that you perceive, and you reflect back in your reality. So, who is in control of the things that you perceive and your perception and your perspective of reality? Now, is there an accurate representation of the world right now? Where's your focus? Where's your attention? Because it's going to point to you the reality and the dimension that you're existing in right now. See, we can all look at the same thing and see completely different things. And
it's like how some people are colorblind and some people aren't, right? It's just different frequencies potentially. Now, this is just speculative and I don't necessarily believe this, but I want to kind of level with what she's saying because ultimately she might have a point.
If you are at a particular point of your awareness, you can't see what you can see. And so a lot of us are out here expressing realities that people cannot even comprehend or see. And, to many people, a lot of us just look stupid and naive because they don't understand what it is that we see. And it's okay. You have to prepare and get ready to be the outsider in the world that you have outgrown. You don't belong there, and that's okay. There's a lot more to reality than we think, than we have been thought. It isn't reality that changes. Earth has been existing the way it's been existing forever. It's been that way forever. Do you know who changes this reality? We do. We the people change this reality, but Earth been doing Earth forever, before you and me and after you and me. And way before that and way after that. You have to understand that we create this narrative and we create this story. And as a collective, yes. But the idea and the concept of free will, it is because your mind can always perceive so much more. So I talk about a lot how reality exists in all states. All potentials exist right now. Right now, there are people living a version of reality you don't even think exists or has ever existed. See, don't let anybody tell you that we are doomed and that it's the end of everything and that there's no hope and that everything is bad and everything has never been this bad before. Please.
So do you think she has a point on her perception of how we're not living in the same reality? And it's not necessarily that we're all collectively living in a different reality. It's each individual is living in a different reality.
Don't you think it's so fucking crazy how we all live in like different realities and different dimensions right now? Like, before the awakening, right? Before I started doing a deep dive into myself, before I started waking up to the fucking illusions of this goddamn reality that we've been enslaved in for so long, I was just like fucking everybody else, We were all in the same place together. And now, even scrolling through TikTok, I'm literally like, what the fuck? I live in a whole different dimension reality than other people do. Like, we're not all on the same fucking playing field. And I don't mean this in like, I'm better or worse. It's like, it's just wild to see where some people are, other people are, and then other people are. You know what I'm saying? It is crazy. Like, we are literally in a spiritual warfare right now. Like, literally, the Great Awakening, like, souls waking up and then there are other people just like partying and like caring about just like all the shit, like superficial shit. And I'm not saying anything's wrong or bad or worse or good. I'm just saying, what the fuck? It bugs me out sometimes. I'm like, bro, this is like, it's such a wild, gnarly experience to see where other people are in just different dimensions and realities. Like, and the more you awaken, the more you see, the more you can't believe that other people can't see. And I get it. Like, not everyone is meant to awaken. Not everyone is meant to go through this journey. But for the ones that are, dude, we need to talk about this shit because there are times where it's like, okay, it is, I get like, and there are other times where I'm like, whoa, this shit bugs me out.
It's kind of like that phrase, we're not on the same page. Think about that deeper. Maybe we're not on the same plane of existence.
It's going to make you want to put your phone down and put this into practice straight away. So there is a trick that you can use to kind of pop your head into alternate realities and timelines. And the reason that you can't do this right now with what you currently desire is because you hold a strong energetic charge for your current reality, which is holding you in place. So to try put your head into a reality where you feel your desire to be real is extremely hard. So what you need to do to put this into practice and learn how natural it really is use timelines or realities that mean absolutely nothing to you. So let's say right now, for example, myself, I could sit here with my eyes closed, imagine myself to be some old man in Italy that's living in a cottage who's just living off the land and doing nothing. And that would, my brain would allow me to go into that reality because there's no charge that tells me that I can't be there. So if you remove the charge and you put yourself in that timeline, you can feel what it feels like to be somewhere completely different and feel what it feels like to experience a different reality so that you can start learning how natural it feels for you to be in the one that you actually want to experience.
Now that might just be beyond me, but he might be living in a different existence as well. I think he might be on a different plane than me because what he said, I don't really understand. If you know exactly what he's talking about in that last clip, let me know down below in the comment section. But I do think it's interesting that people are having this massive awakening. I don't know if it was the pandemic that really shook everyone up and made people see things in a different light, or if it's also just files being released slowly and people kind of delving into that and seeing, you know, all of the evil in the world right now. We're in such a weird time period, and ultimately maybe we're not just in a weird time period, we're in a weird dimension. Leave your thoughts about this video down below in the comment section, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.